guys. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm gonna say hello to everybody from the Black Business School. Welcome, guys, to our Black Wealth conversation. I want you guys to get comfortable. Those of you who are inside the conversation, get comfortable for a second. And now I want you guys to know, if anybody's watching on online, I'm only going to be online for a second for the introduction, and then we're going to go into a closed group session. This is for Black Business School students only. If you'd like to be invited to any of our future Black Wealth conversations, just go to theblackbusinessschool.com. That's theblackbusinessschool.com. So give me 1 second here. And everybody who's inside the actual webinar, go ahead and get comfortable with the interface. What I want you guys to do is at the end, when we get done, I'll give you a few minutes to ask questions and things like that. And you can put the questions in the Q&A section. Put them in the Q&A section. Don't put them in the chat, because I won't see them if they're in the chat, but I'll see them in the Q&A section. So go ahead and start chatting amongst each other, and I'll get a chance to see who's in here. Hey, Nakia, how are you? Good to see you, sister. God bless you. All right, so let me give you guys the reason why we're here and why we're doing this special session in the Black Business School. Today we're going to talk about Byron Allen, and I decided that today I really wanted to go ahead and dig deep a little bit on Byron Allen and what he's doing as an entrepreneur, what he's doing as a Black man, what he's doing as a financial expert, what he's doing just as a human being, because I feel that this is the kind of conversation, this is the kind of discussion that needs to be had regularly in our community. You guys saw the other day, we had Powernomics Thursday. Dr. Claude Anderson is one of our faculty in the Black Business School. You can't get faculty like Dr. Claude Anderson at any university on earth. You can't get Claude Anderson Powernomics at HBCUs. You can't get Claude Anderson Powernomics at Harvard. You get it here at the Black Business School, because our number one focus, our primary focus, our only focus, our sole focus, our top focus, our leading focus, our primary number one, most deliberate focus is Black wealth. Solving the Black wealth equation in America has been my life obsession, and that is one that I have solved. Now that we've solved it, it's a matter of implementing these ideas. That's all it is. It's not even a matter of figuring out the solution. I know the solution. Well, the solution starts with what we teach in the Black Business School, what we teach your children in our Black Business School for Children. It starts with the Black Core of Three. The Black Core of Three says that Black people should educate our own children, create our own jobs, and support Black businesses. Also, the three pillars of wealth, the three ways that people get rich in America, pretty much come down to stock and bond investing, real estate investing, and entrepreneurship. So therefore, entrepreneurship, stock and bond investing, and real estate investing should become a second religion for your family. Like, that should literally become the new Black religion, the new church. Have economic church, so that your children are better at investing and wealth building than they are at football, basketball, and all these other things, rapping and dancing and all these other things that we do that don't ever put money in our pockets. You got to learn how to make money. And so the last piece I'll throw in there is when you saw Dr. Claude Anderson here for Powernomics Thursday, one of the things he brought up is that if he when he goes on the Breakfast Club, I said, when you go on the Breakfast Club next month, I said, if you had 5 minutes to talk to 10 million Black people, what would you say that they should focus on? What would be the first thing you'd say? He said, it's the acquisition of resources that will make the difference for us. And it is the acquisition of resources that matters the most. So everybody who's watching, I want you to type one word in the chat. Type the word resources. Resources is our word for the year. Resources will be our word for the century. Resources will be our word for life, our word for the decade, our word of the month, every month. Resources. That means that your number one goal, if you want to become a wealth builder, if you want your children to get ahead, if you want your family to win, if you want to be on top, if you want to have real power, is to commit yourself and your family and your children to the acquisition of resources. Now, what does that mean? What does it mean to acquire resources? That means you get out there and you buy you some land. If you can, whenever you can. There's programs out there. We got programs in the Black Business School that teach you how to buy property, how to buy investment property. We have entire investment groups set up that are buying property right now. We have the Black London Asset Acquisition Council, which came out of the Black Business School. We have financial Juneteenth investing seminars that come from everywhere. I have thousands of people in my stock market investing program. So the acquisition of resources starts with land and property, stocks and bonds, I talk to you guys on the Black Financial Channel, which is an asset that we own. That's a resource that we created, theblackfinancialchannel.com, which is a daily African-American oriented Black news website that basically focuses on daily financial news from a Black perspective. So make sure you also subscribe to theblackfinancialchannel.com, because that is yet another resource that we built that reaches hundreds of thousands of people, where basically we talk about financial news on a daily basis. You want to consume that information all the time. The third piece, what else does the acquisition of resources mean? Starting businesses. Every Black family should have a family business. If you have a family business, say something. Shout out the name of your family business. Shout out, say something about the name of your family business. Who in here has a Black family business? Does anybody in here have a Black family business? Let me know if you have a Black family business. Now, I see a couple questions coming in. Let me say this. I'm not going to really answer questions today because I want to get to the lecture on Byron Allen. And this is going to be for the Black Business School students only that signed up for this special private lecture, because I'm going to play his Breakfast Club interview and break it down piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. And in fact, there were so many nuggets in this interview that I want to analyze as a finance professor that I literally cannot do the entire interview in one sitting, in one lecture. It's not possible, because there's so much he dropped in. There's so many gems, so many points of, it's almost like drilling for oil, where you drill into the ground and you see a little oil pop up and you're like, oh my God, there's oil here, right? And then you drill in another spot and there's oil there. And just like you see the little bubbles come up and you're like, oh my God, let's drill here and here and here and here and here. So I want to do some deep diving on Byron Allen's interview. And I guarantee you this, I guarantee you that when you get done with this lecture, you will be a different person. When you get done with this lecture, you will have a different perspective on wealth. When you get done with this lecture, your family will be different, and your family will be inevitably changed for the next 100 years if you implement even 2% of what I say. I guarantee you this. This is what I know. This is what I do. I'm one of the best experts in the world at this. This is all I think about. This is what I've obsessed myself with for the last 25, 30 years. Actually, I started teaching college when I was 22 years old. But I was studying finance 4 years before that, and I was the #1 student on campus in finance, and I had a triple major and 2 bachelor's degrees in 4 years, and I had a full-time job. So college was easy for me, because even at the age of 21, I knew this stuff extremely well. Now I'm 48 years old, which means I probably know about 5 times more, 10 times more than what I knew back then. So I bring all that to you to say that when I tell you these things, I'm telling you these things that I know work. This is not based on speculation. This is based on scientific analysis. This is not based on me sort of thinking that I'm just, that I just know everything. I don't know everything. I know enough to know what I don't know. This is not based on me just giving you gut instincts. This is me actually being able to tell you real stories about real people who've applied these real theories and they're actually working. One thing you have to do, though, is you have to have faith in you. Not faith in white Jesus, not faith in your pastor, not faith in the Democratic Party, not faith in that job that might fire you any day of the week, not faith in what other people are doing, because everybody else is out eating Popeye's chicken right now, right? That's what they're doing, right? You have to have faith in you. You have to have faith that by going off the beaten path, you're going to be in a position that's going to be better than everybody else. So one area where I'll start when I talk about Byron Allen is this. And by the way, those of you who are watching online, who are listening in on the intro to the lecture, I can't do the actual lecture online because I'm going to play parts of the Breakfast Club interview and I don't want to violate any copyrights and cause any issues with YouTube. But I can make this lecture available for students in the Black Business School, but you got to join the Black Business School. Don't believe anybody that tells you that that we're trying to get a bunch of money from you. We don't really care much about getting your money. We need money to operate, and we appreciate if you invest in us the way you invest in white folks and everything else. But if you're not ready, that's okay. You can come in for free. We're like a church. This church don't cost you nothing to come in, but we got to have you. But when you come in, you got your gospel has to be the gospel of you. You've really got to believe in your family. You've got to really want to do something different. So if you're not ready for that, then you're not quite ready to join us. But if you are ready, then feel free. Go to theblackbusinessschool.com right now. Sign up. You can sign up for free and get started right there. And I guarantee you that even with a free membership in the Black Business School, you'll learn more with a free membership with us than you'll learn from pretty much any university you've ever gone to. Why do I know this? Because I was a college professor for 25 years, and I still am a college professor. I just left Syracuse and decided I wanted to teach Black people instead of going out and begging for another job. That was honestly, I felt like that was beneath me. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I'm a cocky Negro or whatever, but I felt like it was beneath me. So anyway, here's what I want to tell you guys about. Byron Allen is actually gaining traction with his Comcast lawsuit. Byron Allen, he was a very wealthy man. He's worth about $400 million. I thought he was a billionaire, but he's not a billionaire according to the sources I've read. He's but he's worth a lot of money. He's balling. He's a billionaire. How about that? He ain't a billionaire, but he's a billionaire. And so what Byron Allen, in fact, actually, I don't know if you guys know, I came down to Houston. One of my friends is Willie D, who used to be in the Ghetto Boys, and he was doing a little event. And this guy walks up. Y'all gonna get a kick out of this. Anybody who likes hip hop, tell me if you're a hip hop fan like me. This guy walks up and he says, "Hey," I say, "Hey, how you doing, man? Nice to meet you." He's like, "Nice to meet you, Dr. Watkins." I'm like, "So what's your name, man?" He said, "I'm Troy." I said, "Troy, really?" I said, "So what do you do, Troy?" He said, "Oh, I used to be a rapper." I said, "Really? You got any songs I heard about, Troy?" And he said, "Yeah, I did a song. I had the chorus. Wanna be a baller, shot caller, 20-inch blades on the Impala." Anybody remember that song? Yeah. So anyway, I met him yesterday, and I thought that was kind of cool. So Byron Allen is he's not a billionaire, but that's okay, right? He's a billionaire. He's a baller. He's definitely got money. He's worth about $400 million. He's gonna be a billionaire. He's well on his way. Very smart man, doing great things. Love this guy. I think he's awesome. All right, now here's what he's doing right now that's very disruptive and very interesting. I'm curious to see how this plays out. He's suing the hell out of Comcast right now. He's suing Comcast for $20 million, and he's bucking the civil rights tradition by doing this. He's bucking the tradition because basically he circumvented the civil rights guardians of the black community. You know, he circumvented the typical channels where kind of like Kanye West did that, actually. I mean, sometimes to be successful in this world, you got to go around the system. You got to go around the predefined pathway, and Byron Allen did that. So what he did was he circumvented the civil rights leadership, and some might say misleadership, by basically suing Comcast for $20 million after or $20 billion, not million with an M, billion with a B. And he's suing them because he felt that African Americans were left out of the game when Comcast formed this merger with NBC Universal. And I just love the lawsuit. I think it's great. And I love the fact that he is speaking on the issue in a way that is politically incorrect. He's not trying to fit in with any sort of predefined agenda. He's trying to, except his only agenda is wealth and power. And that's the agenda you got to be on. You got to be on the power agenda. Don't get on the, sure, okay, you got the gay agenda. If you want to be a part of that, that's fine. You got the feminist agenda. If you want to be a part of that, that's fine. You got the immigration agenda. If you want to be a part of that, that's fine. You got the Democratic Party agenda. If you want to be a part of that, that's fine. But here's the agenda I need you to put at the top of your list. I need you to put the black agenda at the top of your list. And the black agenda, as Byron Allen understands so well, is that is highly connected to the black economic agenda. One of the things that Byron Allen brings up in this Breakfast Club interview, as I break this down for you guys that are in the Black Business School, is he basically says that Dr. King, he starts his conversation on the Breakfast Club off by saying that Martin Luther King, according to Coretta, was killed because he started talking about the money. He started talking about the dollars and cents. He started the Poor People's Campaign. Anybody remember that? The Poor People's Campaign. And he said, we've come to Washington to pick up our check. And they're like, oh shit, we got Negroes coming here picking up checks. What are we going to do? They asking for money. They asking for the real power. They ain't asking for social integration no more. They ain't asking to sit at the same lunch counter anymore. He's not going to let us beat him upside the head with a baseball bat so he can shop at Macy's anymore. He really wants the real money. He wants the power. We got to get this guy out of here. And that's why Dr. King got killed, And so when I thought about that, when I read about that, I kind of laughed. I don't know if y'all remember in the Joker movie when Jack Nicholson played the Joker, and there's a part where he said, "Where did they get a load of me?" So when anybody remember that? Well, there was I felt that way when I read about this, when I understood why they went after Dr. King, and I thought about how much I know about finance and wealth and how many black people I can reach and all these other things. I said, "Where did they get a load of me?" Right? Where did they get a load of me? Because I literally am so pumped about the fact that we as black people have finally figured out the keys to our empowerment. And the keys are very, very basic. It starts with that word resources. It also goes back to the diaspora. On the 8th it's the 6th, actually, I'm flying to Ghana with billionaire Mike Roberts, and we are going to go explore Ghana. We're going to go around Ghana, talk to people. And my goal is to go there and figure out how we can communicate and work together to acquire, what's the word? Resources. How do we form business relationships? How do we form trade channels? And I will bring that back to you, and I will tell you guys what I'm seeing over there, and I'm going to record as much as possible and document it so you can use this as an educational tool and a preparation tool for your family. Because let me just tell y'all this, I think as black people, we need to get prepared for economic warfare. And what I like about Byron Allen is that he is prepared for economic warfare. He's going to war with Comcast. I support him all the way through. And here's what's interesting. This is a recent development that actually occurred that I thought was great. It says less than a week. This is from Deadline. Less than a week before Comcast and Department of Justice lawyers will face off against Byron Allen in the Supreme Court in the Entertainment Studios boss's $20 billion discrimination lawsuit against NBC Universal. A prominent member of Congress now wants the telecommunications giant brought down to size. Quote, Comcast has enjoyed the largesse, as has the cable industry in general, of the African American and other minority communities, and has reached such prominence that it now regards these communities with a cold, callous corporate insensitivity that is stultifying, arrogant, harmful, and intensely painful, writes Representative Bobby Rush, who apparently did better than I did in English class, because that's a beautifully written sentence. Good for you, Mr. Rush. I love it. He's right out of Chicago, right where I live. So thank God we got some black person in Congress actually saying something that means something. So he wrote this in a letter last night to Comcast CEO Brian Roberts. Now, similarly, here's more quotes from the letter. It is my belief that the Comcast Corporation needs to be broken up. That's scary for them. They're like, oh, wait, hold up. We ain't used to this. This is tough talk coming from a Negro, right? We used to paying y'all off with a bucket of chicken and some Wendy's coupons, and y'all talking about billions. You're playing tough right now. He says it is my belief that the Comcast Corporation needs to be broken up, declares the long-serving Illinois Democratic congressman who sits on the influential Energy and Commerce Committee and chairs its Consumer Protection Subcommittee. Similar statements by presidential hopeful Senator Kamala Harris. Okay, there you go. See, now let's just pause for a moment. You guys know that we are incredibly hard on accountability for the Congressional Black Caucus. I have personally on this platform on many occasions lovingly reminded each of you that my perception is that most of the Congressional Black Caucus is worth about as much as a used condom or like old watermelon seeds. Like literally, they're pretty worthless. This half-empty water bottle has more value in my world than the Congressional Black Caucus half the damn time, because y'all know they're up there doing some old buck dancing. So given that we are always brutally honest when they're not doing the right thing, when they're not doing anything significant, I think it's important that we give them credit when it's due. I will say, as I'm reading this, Kamala, Cory Booker, Bobby Rush, they're coming together to kind of help out with this. And I think this is great. I really like this. I actually like this initiative. Why? Well, because I believe that what's going to happen out of this, what can occur out of this, is that Comcast is going to become very sensitive to the lack of ownership of African Americans in media and their presence on Comcast's various cable networks. And I think that will be good for the world. I think that's a good thing. I don't ever plan to have a channel on Comcast. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't even want that to happen. I don't care about that. I'm happy with my platform, but I'm happy to see other black people getting opportunities, and I hope that we create a few black billionaires out of this. That to me would be a touchdown for us, as long as you ain't out there selling out. So similar statements by presidential hopefuls Senators Kamala Harris and Senator Cory Booker and other members of Congress. Representative Rush is dismayed that Philadelphia-based Comcast, in its battle with Allen, has gotten in bed with the Trump administration to force a potentially pivotal change to Civil War era past civil rights enhancement. Wait, this is a bad sentence. A pivotal change to Civil War era past civil rights enhancing legislation in the case that is to be heard before the 9 justices on November 13th. While Congress doesn't directly have the power to shatter corporate empires, they certainly have the power to hold hearings, which, these hearings, man, I don't know if y'all have seen these hearings. Dr. Boyce organized a protest in front of the Supreme Court. Todd, I would do that. I would do that if I were a, sign carrying, hold hands march and sing "We Shall Overcome" type of Negro, but I'm just not. I don't protest that way. I don't do that. That's just not my thing. I'll support you, but that's not. That's just no. Anyway. Let's keep going. Let's see here. While Congress doesn't have the power to shatter corporations, they have the power to hold hearings, issue subpoenas, and shine a very bright spotlight on the likes of Roberts and Comcast. Of course, such a spotlight can put pressure on the executive branch to take action too, regardless of it is a Republican or Democrat in the White House. This is terribly written. This article, the grammar, my God. Known to be close to Speaker Nancy Pelosi, it also isn't an accident that Representative Rush CC'd Attorney General Bill Barr, the FTC, and the Federal Communications Commission in his correspondence to CEO Roberts, in a dust-up with long-term political civil rights and corporate implications in which the likes of the NAACP, ACLU, National Urban League, and Mexican American Legal Defense and Educational Fund, among others, have come out swinging against Comcast. The symbolism of Russia's declaration could hold weight. Quote, Comcast actions today call into question why it signed a memoranda of understanding on diversity with the Asian American Justice Center, East-West Players, Hispanic Association on Corporate Responsibility, Japanese American Civil Citizens League, Media Action Network, National Association for Advancement of Colored People, National Action Network, blah, blah, blah. There's a long list. The contradictory nature of its legal argument leads me to believe that these memoranda were signed merely for political expediency. Now, one thing that I am deeply concerned about, one thing I'm a little bit concerned about here is they're kind of doing the same, they're playing the same game. It sounds like they're going that same direction of that civil rights game that they go into. When black people create something for black people, because black people have had a unique experience in this country, black people are the ones who built America through our labor. Black people are the ones who got our butts kicked during this horrible thing called slavery. And black people are the ones who are owed about $15.1 trillion in wealth because of what was stolen from us. They kind of start getting to the point where they start watering down what we're doing. One thing I like about Byron Allen's interview with the Breakfast Club is he made it clear that when he talked to Senator Obama at the time, sorry, he was president actually. He was senator becoming president or president who had just been a senator. It was something like that, around 2008, around that time. He said that he told Obama, you know, we want you to do something for black people. And Obama said, yes, we've got things in place for minorities. He said, no, black people. And I think that's very important. I think that distinction needs to be made. So when they start adding in and just laying out a bucket list of all these different, civil rights groups, I start getting worried because the biggest beneficiaries of civil rights up until this point have actually been white women. So if they really want to impress me, keep it black initially anyway, and make sure that black people are at the top of the list in these conversations, because black people are the ones who were hit the hardest. We are, there is something to be said about the conversation about foundational black Americans, the fact that we did build this country. Now, I'm not trying to be nationalist or to exclude people from other countries. I told you guys I'm going to Ghana. I believe deeply in connecting with the diaspora and engaging in trade around the world. That should be our long-term strategy as a people. But at the same time, we got to have conversations about black people, period, in terms of what is owed to us. Right now, I'm feeling like Riley on the Boondocks. Remember when he wrote that letter to Santa? And he wrote, Dear Santa, you are a blank, blank, blank. I'm not going to say it because I promised myself I wouldn't cuss today. And he said, pay me what you owe. Pay me what you owe. So I think for black people, there is a debt. We know that there's a debt, and I think that we should never let them forget that there's a debt, and we should let them know that we should be the first ones to be paid. That's how corporations actually create their capital structure. They have a hierarchy of who gets paid first. The bondholders might be at the top, along with, or the banks and the bondholders are up here, and then after that, you got different classes of equity holders, right? The stockholders get paid after the bondholders get paid. So if you're a debt holder, typically you're going to get paid, but if you have senior debt, that's going to get paid before the junior debt. And maybe the bondholders have a stipulation where they get paid before the banks. And then after that, the equity holders get paid. And even among the equity holders, you have different tiers, different classes of stock. So black people, it's okay for everybody else to get paid, but black people should be paid first. And black people are typically the ones who are paid last. And I think it's very important that we talk about this, we make this public, and we make sure that we're not forgotten in the midst of all this stuff. Because I don't like it when people start taking over things and hijacking it and taking it away from its original source. But I do like what Byron Allen's doing. I think that he's proven himself to be one of the most dangerous men in corporate America. And I just think it's a wonderful thing. And I think that the community can benefit from this lawsuit. And I think it's awesome that he's doing this. Now, what I'm going to do is, those of you who are watching online, I'm about to shut down because I have to talk to the students now. We're going to, in the students, we're doing a special lecture where I'm going to pull out the Byron Allen Breakfast Club video, chop it up, We're going to stop. I got about 20 spots I want to stop and analyze with you guys, and we're going to break it down so we can deeply understand the wealth implications of what he said, how to apply these ideas, the deeper implications, the subtext, the deeper context of everything that's being laid out there, and you can apply it to your families. If you guys want to participate in some of our Black Wealth conversations that we have in the Black Business School, all you got to do is go right now to theblackbusinessschool.com, that's theblackbusinessschool.com. Talk to one of our specialists about joining with your family. We have a Black Business School for children at blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. That's blackmillionairesoftomorrow.com. Bring your kids, bring your wife, bring your baby mama, bring everybody, because Black wealth has to be the number one priority for us in this century as we work to accumulate resources that will put us on top so that we can accumulate or achieve our goal of Project 2070. Project 2070 says that I believe that if we continue on this trajectory, that by the year 2070, Black people can actually take the lead on economic empowerment. We can take the lead on financial literacy. We can take the lead on family wealth creation. We can become what the Jewish community is right now, except better, because Black people, we always add that extra sauce, and we're just kind of unique. Our DNA is very unique, so it can't nobody really compete with us. Y'all know what it is. Okay, guys, so please, if you're watching online, hit the thumbs up button. I'm about to let you guys go, I can't let you hear the lecture here because I'm about to play this, and YouTube has these little bots that pick up copyrighted video content. So I'm only going to do this with the students, but I really love this interview so much that I want to break it down. And I know you guys were expecting me to be on the Breakfast Club. I talked to Charlamagne a lot, and it just didn't work out this time, but it's going to happen soon. I promise you I wasn't making it up. I've been on there 4 times. I'm going to go on there again, just not right now. But Dr. Claude Anderson will be on there before me, which is actually really important. It's really important. It's more important that he gets on than me. I've been on there 4 times, but I need him to be on there, because if we expose the world to Powernomics, it's like drinking gin and juice for the first time, I guess. I never had it before, but literally, if you get Black folks exposed to the idea of freedom and power and economic intelligence and the ability to make massive amounts of money for your children and grandchildren, there ain't no Black people gonna walk away from that. They're not gonna walk away from that. Even the haters gonna love you for that. So hit the thumbs up button before you go. Hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys soon. So have a good day. All right. So everybody inside